Welcome to Theory Lesson 8 with Mrs. Binkard. Today we're going to be talking about the piano keyboard. Now some of you might be thinking, that's great and all, Mrs. Binkard, but what does that have to do with me? Well, a lot of times when we talk about music theory, it's great to have a visual sometimes, and this keyboard is going to help us a lot with that. These white keys at the bottom we will call naturals, while the black keys at the top we call accidentals. You'll notice that the keys on the keyboard are arranged in groups of 2 and in 3 accidentals in a repeating pattern. The first step to understanding the piano keyboard is to locate a group of 2 accidentals. Then the next thing you need to do is find the note directly to the left of the group of 2 accidentals. This note is always the note C. So you'll notice that there is, like I said, a repeating pattern. So for example, here is another group of 2 black keys, 2 accidentals. The note to the left of that is also a C, right? Because remember, our musical alphabet repeats itself over and over again. Once we've found C on our keyboard, we can then find the rest of the notes by using the musical alphabet. So once we found C, we know that the next note is D, then E, then F, then G, then A, then B, and oh my goodness, look, we're back to C again, and once again, it's just a repeating pattern. On the back page of your theory lesson, you'll notice that they're talking about some items called half steps. Now, a half step is fairly simple. It's merely the distance from one key to the key directly next to it. So, for example, if I'm starting on this note right here, I know that a half step away is going to be directly next to it. It doesn't matter if the key is black or white. So another example, if I'm beginning here, 1/2 step away from this key, which by the way is C, is a B. You'll notice those keys are right next to each other. These notes we call white key neighbors. They're a little bit tricky. Notice that there is no black key right here. Therefore, these white keys are a half step apart. Another thing to keep in mind is that frequently we talk about direction on the piano keyboard. When we go to the right, that means the notes are getting higher. Or also we say that we are going up. And up refers to both in pitch and on the musical staff. When we go to the left, that means we're going lower or we're going down the musical staff. Therefore, we know that our musical alphabet, just like we discovered before, when it goes higher, it goes forwards. And when we go lower, it goes backwards. Therefore, if I begin on this note right here, if I say a half step down, I know I'll end on this note right here. If I'm talking about going a half step down from here, I'll know that this is a half step down. Notice how when I'm going down or lower, I'm going to the left. We have a special name for notes that are a half step lower. These are called flats. The symbol for a flat is this sign. It looks almost like a lowercase b. For example, if I wanted to find the note E flat, the first thing I would do is find the letter E on my keyboard. Now I've labeled it here for you, but if your notes weren't labeled, the first thing you would do is find your C, and then you would count up C, D, E, and there you would find your letter E. Now we learned that flat is another name for a half step lower, so I would go to the left one key. Voila! That key is called E flat. Now, here's another example. Let's say I was looking for the note F flat. Remember, step 1 is to just find the letter on the keyboard. If it weren't labeled, the first thing I would do is find C and then use my musical alphabet to find F. C, D, E, and then F. Now, the next step, remember, flat means go to the left one key, but whoops, there is no black key for my half step. So the next note down is right here. Notice that F flat is the exact same key as an E. Now, remember, the key to a successful theory lesson is always to read the directions, right, y'all? Sometimes you guys only do half of the workbook because you just neglect to follow the directions, so be sure to follow the directions, and you might find some helpful hints along the way to help explain the questions to you a little bit better. That's it for this week. Bye, y'all.